Most of us spend a life in some sort of career. I have spent a large percentage of my adult life being a trainer, a master instructor of one thing or another. It doesn't really matter today what I was yesterday. What matters is what will I be tomorrow. Lately, I have been schlepping a lot of recyclables to a particular church. I took it to that church because they provide a loving community meal to people in need, and students as well on the campus here of Illinois. But the reality is that I schlepped all this stuff there. I piled it up. It took me several days to do it because I have no vehicle, and openly I put it all up on that set of stairs for the church. They share the building with a few other businesses, a few other churches, a few other organizations, but I kept it in a tight corner. I put it in plastic. I tried to keep it clean. And when I came back, everything was put actually in a better plastic bag, frankly, and openly it was said that they couldn't use it, but someone who belonged to their organization would be happy to take it and receive it. So I was somewhat relieved because when I came back a few times, I found that a pair of sneakers that was set aside for myself that someone had lovingly left me had been stolen by someone else, and some coats that I had plied for some wonderful people also got stolen. But that's the way it is, that people put things on their porch or on a business porch, and someone just thinks, I'll pilfer this. And the person left a very nasty old jacket and shoes in its stead, as if that would somehow make up for the theft. It's odd how people feel they have a right to do things, but that's not what was most odd. What's most odd is that the woman who's in charge of that community outreach dinner made a big deal about how there was a health crisis and they couldn't do certain things. And I thought, all this stuff, all it needs is to be put into a very hot dishwasher that a professional kitchen like yours should possess, and that would allow the plastics that are fully recyclable, totally microwavable, and totally usable for the care and giving of food to people to be provided for leftovers at future meals. It's not that hard to save things for a few months, really, to be able to use because they were complaining about not having those items before. Now, apparently they've gotten a stipend and they've been able to produce some plastics to provide people box lunches who are coming now on Wednesdays and Thursdays, which is wonderful and kind, and it was a delicious meal. Absolutely. But here's the rub. This woman went out of her way to tell me that someone coming as a part of their group wanted to take the property that I'd set on that particular stoop for them and take it and utilize it. When I went back around to throw away my own supper, what I found was most of what I had provided had been thrown in the trash, or so it looked like it. I didn't spend a lot of time trying to look and see what they received and what they didn't receive, but my point in putting those things up there as recycle is there's always another place that someone can take it to. There are several recycle facilities here. There are several places that provide love to others in impoverishment who would take those items and put them on their shelves and sell them for a profit to support those non-for-profits. We don't need our landfills filled with these items. I was just encouraged by the Lord to walk down an alleyway of a building set that's going in. And lo and behold, there were light fixtures, and I know what light fixtures are because my late father was a lamps and ballast man, and we knew all about lighting fixtures. But there was a bunch of light fixtures laying next to the garbage can. I'd really like to know, what do these recycling companies do with those? Do they sell them off? Do they get money for them? I hope so. But if these are construction workers, if these are contractors, if these are the builders who play on this campus, they should be taking them to a recycle shop. Not everybody has to take them over to a specific one here in town, but that one in town is not well cared for. It's not provided the right items. I saw a toilet seat in the trash the other day that could have been easily utilized at a recycle shop. Part of the porcelain that they pulled out to replace a toilet probably could have also been recycled or provided to a usable shop like that, where people are trying to improve their houses, but they don't have the funds to pay $200 for a throne. It's really ill-willed that we're expecting our recycle companies to handle all this while they're so busy playing let's check up on so-and-so on the street at 4 in the morning or 6 in the morning. And one time I had a guy come back 3 times to the same Red Lobster, and I thought, this is a little odd. Maybe he's expecting to have someone put some food out for him. But the reality that I'm seeing as a lay observer and a trained journalist from Indiana University is that openly people are not thinking about our landfills. The stuff that they are not washing in their in their dishwashers and putting out and finding ways to reuse and recycle is really sad. There's styrofoam that could be easily washed. My late mother did all the washing of everything like that, of foil, of styrofoam, of plastics, and we utilized it until it couldn't be utilized anymore. And if it wasn't microwavable, then we found a way to put it in a plastic recycle bin. In our garage, we had multiple bins for all those things. We crushed our canned after we rinsed them out so we didn't call bugs to the facility or to the grounds. We need some reporter at the Illini News to start talking about how to recycle properly. We also need these garbage can collecting companies to start providing people with smaller units that they can easily color code, as I suggested before, to what is cans, what is glass, what is plastics, and then the people who recycle those things can go into those specific units and find exactly what they need to help us to care better for the earth, but also provide us a way to save money and expenditure of making new plastics. Our land is going to be ruined by people who don't regard the land. And frankly, it's appalling that these companies have 30 plus trucks and they don't have one truck dedicated to pulling recycles and donating them to Goodwill or to the Plato's Closet or whatever the hell it is. I see clothes in the trash all the time. If you're tired of your clothes, donate it to Goodwill. Please, allow your good quality clothing to replace the crap quality that seems to be available here in Champaign. Now, lately in life, I've been doing a lot of schlepping, but I've just learned my lesson. And I've been learning it quite a while through this homelessness initiative, that people don't really want to be plied with food or other items, especially if they're living in squalor or homelessness where they have no home, no electricity, no grocery facility, in other words, no refrigerator, and no way to cook. They can't take in your idea of their food and their cellular health. You see, the best thing you can possibly do is my program, which is if you want to love on someone who's homeless, give them a gift card so they can go to the store on their own time, their own needs, and purchase what they need. We can't help if they want to purchase things like cigarettes or alcohol. There's nothing we can do about that. That's a soul problem. It's nothing you can fix unless you continue your relationship with them and say, I'll check back with you in another week. Even the Salvation Army truck, the canteen as they call it, is not well plied. Most of us men don't wear tighty-whitey briefs. We're too old for that. We don't like pulling our stuff out of that. We don't pull it through the hole. And all those things that Steve Harvey talked about when he was talking to women about what men are really like. In life, we have moments of time to show who we are. Stop staring at people on the side of the road and get up off your ass and go walk and talk to them. You might just find out they're nothing like what you expect. I've seen a lot of people not sure what to do. The best thing to do is ask intelligent questions, and within a matter of 5 minutes or less, you'll find out whether or not the person's worth A, helping or not, B, wants to be helped, or C, can be helped. And frankly, it's time that we start loving on people as opposed to loving on products and things. People are literally throwing away things that are totally useful, totally beautifully clean, totally mint condition, and there's somebody somewhere that can do it. I even saw a microwave in the trash just now. That depresses me. We don't have a landfill that can reproduce that. In other words, it's not going to break down in the earth where it's going to be placed. All right? So let's talk about this no more. Start recycling, start doing it correctly, and start washing out your items so that nobody has to ply through any trash can and find your filth and food. We have ways to make waste, and frankly, we need compost piles on the university properties so that the birds, the animals, and the earth can be better cared for and better suited. It doesn't produce the illness that people talk about. And frankly, this illness thing, stop putting the heaters on the buses and the public places so that it doesn't incubate further. Thanks for listening.